Hello everyone, welcome back to Academia Watercolor, and today let's paint this beautiful pomegranate. I'll leave the list of materials I used in the description box, and also there you may find the link to my Etsy shop where you can download the outline if you want to start painting right away. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial and let's get started. First, let's cover our pomegranate with permanent yellow. We're just going to cover the left part and we are leaving the highlight unpainted. And after we add a little bit of permanent red, we mix those two colors right on the paper. So we have those kind of beautiful effects of watercolor. We add more permanent red here on the right side because it's where the shadow will be after. Now here we add a little bit more water because this part should be lighter, so we add more water, we clean the brush, and now we are kind of like fixing the form of this pomegranate. Now with a clean brush that we dried with paper towel, we are going to soft the edges of the highlight, and we are going to add a little bit more of highlights here. Like we're doing this in the same way. We clean the brush, we dry it with a paper towel, and after we lift up the color so we have our highlight a little bit bigger. Now let's mix the shadow using permanent red and cobalt blue. We need like kind of more red color, so we're going to use more permanent red, and we're going to add it on the right side where we can see on the reference photo the shadow goes. So you can see this deep color. We're going to cover all the right part of the pomegranate. We are going to add a little bit of permanent yellow to have this kind of orange color. We use it to soften the line of the red color that we put on the shadow. After we use water, with water we blend this line and we extend it down there. And of course, as always, we should soften the line near the highlight. Now with this color that has a lot of blue, we are going to add the shadow. We are working with lines here because you can see on the reference that it's how it goes. Now clean the brush and lift up the color on the reflection. Don't forget to dry it with a paper towel because if not, the colors will it will be too much water and it won't look good. So now we should deepen the shadow to give the volume, to give this form that we need to our pomegranate. Let's add a little bit more of like a dark color here, like a red color here on the left part near the highlight, and you can see that now it already looks like more round, you know, like it has more shape. Now let's work a bit more on this petal. Let's name it like this, I don't know what it is. On the central one. So we add a little bit more of red here, and you can see that I added a bit more of shadow on the right side of the central petal. Add more water and extend the color on the left one, lighter than the other two. And I think that we should add more shadow, so with the dark color I'm going to add a little bit of shadow here. And also we should add the shadow of the twig that goes to the pomegranate. So I'm going to use again this dark color, and with those little moves I'm adding this little shadow. And after I always blend the lines, the edges of the colors I put. Like you can see, I just did here, and here I lift up a little bit of the shadow because I thought that it's too dark. So I cleaned the brush, I dried with a paper towel, and I lifted the shadow. Now let's color the part inside of the petals. Don't worry if the petals look a bit blended right now. After we add the shadow, they will stand out and it will look much better. So for the leaves, I'm going to use sap green and olive green. I'm going to cover all the leaves and the twigs at the same time with the same colors. Sometimes I'm going to add a little bit more of orange color that I have on my palette. Sometimes to some leaves I'm going to add a little bit of permanent red, and you just can vary the colors and you can see that it looks very nice. Like here I added a little bit of orange, and in the next leaves I'm going to add a little bit more of red. So just do it as you like. Don't use a lot of color, use more water, and just cover all of them, and after we will paint the shadows to the leaves. So let's mix the colors for the shadow. I'm going to use olive green, a little bit of blue, and a little bit of yellow, and I'm covering just a half of the leaf because I'm going to leave the center line in a light color that we painted before. So in some parts I'm using more water, and some parts I'm using more color. Just play with it as you like it. In some parts I add a little bit more of orange, in some parts I'm going to add a little bit more of red. But don't forget to leave that line in the middle of the leaf. Those two leaves I'm going to make them a little bit more red, so I'm going to add more of a permanent red, and I mix it right on the painting. So I don't use a palette here, just use water, just use colors and just blend them together right on the paper. Now let's paint the twig. So paint a dark line along the lower part of the twig. After clean the brush, dry it with a paper towel and softly blend the line so it looks smoother. Vary the intensity slightly along the entire branch. You can also add a little bit more of red, you can also add a little bit more of blue, it's up to you. Near the pomegranate, make it much darker because it's where the shadow goes, so please add more blue, add more green, mix it very well, don't use a lot of water, and yeah, it should be darker near the pomegranate. Now with the same dark green color you have on your palette, let's paint the shadow inside of the petals of the pomegranate. Just add it with like little dots there inside, and that's all. Add more blue on the dark green colors that you have on your palettes and intensify the shadow of the twig. Now I want my pomegranate to be more red, so I'm going to use permanent red and I'm going to cover it with this color. It should be quite intense, so don't use a lot of water. I paint kind of lines here, and after I clean the brush a little bit, dry it a little bit with a paper towel and soak the edges of the paint like you see I'm doing here, near the highlights and everywhere where you can see the like very direct line. Just soften it a little bit with your clean brush. Now let's mix more violet color with blue and red, and let's intensify the shadow again. I'm doing it painting kind of lines because the pomegranate has like this structure, let's say it like this. I also will add a little bit more shadow down there near the petals. Now more red color. With red color I'm going to blend those dark lines that I painted. Don't be scared that probably now it looks too dark. Don't worry, we're going to fix it a little bit later. And now let's extend a little bit that shadow on the petal, and let's leave the color there where the reflection goes, here. So just clean the brush, dry it with a paper towel and leave the color. And now what I'm going to do is to blend a little bit more the red color and blend the shadow and leave the color. I'm doing it cleaning the brush, drying it and lifting the color not only on the reflection but also on the all over the pomegranate. Okay, here I lifted a little bit the color on the highlight because it was too red, and now I'm lifting up the color in the form of arched lines to like give it more shape. Okay, so here I'm doing it and here as well. Just don't forget to clean the brush and to dry it with a paper towel. And you see that it gives us the structure, the surface of the pomegranate, and it also makes the shadow less intense. Now with any dark color you have on your palette, make the shadow between the petals a little bit more intense. Now I want to fix the shape of my pomegranate because it's not very round. I just noticed, so I'm going to use that violet more red color that I had on my palette, and I'm just adding it there where I want it to be more round. In my case it's on the right side. Now I just want to add more shadow here between those two leaves. So I'm using the dark green colors that I had on my palette and adding it a little bit between those two leaves. So we're almost done. Now with white gouache I'm going to add just little dots on the part of the highlight. And I'm adding it as dots because it gives us the structure of the surface of the pomegranate. So you can do the same, you can leave it as it is, it's up to you. It already looks nice. And I'm going to add a little bit more of white gouache here on the left petal. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed painting with me and hope to see you back again soon. Please like, subscribe, share it with someone who may enjoy this tutorial. Also, don't forget that I have the outline for this painting in my Etsy shop, so I will really appreciate if you visit and check on it. Thank you very much for all of your support that I received. I really appreciate it a lot. Thank you and see you soon. Bye.